Hey everyone, Suzi here, and today we're playing a Watcher of Realms. For today's video, I'm doing a little bit of a reaction style video here. We're gonna watch Fastidious go through this, I think, Forerunner server patch notes. Is this really the best update of all time, or just clickbait? Alrighty, so I just posted a video as of this, like an hour ago, as of me actually recording this here on Sunday night. But I'm gonna post this the next day on Monday because I like to give a content creator that a decent space, the time, like about a day or so, or whatever it may be, to actually get their views, or at least, a good enough period where I feel like I'm not taking away from it. Plus, I just posted a video. So to post another one right away, this late at night, might not be the smartest thing. And why is my camera interface here? Hello, camera UI. It's fine. Apparently my camera just reset, so it might get blurry looking. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I got a bunch of comments and messages about this crazy Forerunner server update. Someone was like, what about Ajax? You didn't read him. And I'm like, well, this is just a Dev Insights. It's all it says, right? If I do a Dev Insights and Forerunner server patch notes video, I always put that in the title. And I usually say it in the intro as well, right? So it should have been pretty clear that I was only doing Dev Insights. But, okay, fine. Let's do this too. But I'm going to do it in a fun way here. We're going to read through or watch whatever Fastidious' video. If I can watch it at a faster speed, I will, because I want to pause and react to also what he's saying. But yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do this instead of me. Actually, I have issues with trying to use my Forerunner server Switch account because the mobile thing I have is, it knows my account was originally in the US, but then it's like, because my email was in the US, but then it's on mobile, and it's like, you're not in the US, you need to use Skystone, and it doesn't want to update, it's being stupid. I don't even know how I got it working on my phone. But anyway, I think I had to switch. But my BlueStacks is not ready for me to log in and switch accounts to Forerunner server, which I can't do on the PC client. So we're gonna watch Fastidious instead again. But I will link to the original video in the comments below. Of course, if you guys are not subscribed to Fastidious, you should do so. Me and him are definitely due to have a collab or something soon. We talked briefly about it, but I've been so busy I haven't been able to work that in. And now, today, if you're watching this video, is Lily's birthday. So we're gonna be, yeah, a bit busy. So I'm glad I recorded this today, as in the day before, for me tonight, Sunday night, to post for Monday. Okay, S tier patch notes, Gear Dungeon 3, new Void Rift, huge buffs, and more. So this, again, is a Forerunner server, which I'm sure he's going to clarify. But let's see if we could watch this at a slightly faster speed. If it's not too distracting otherwise, I will put it back to, something a bit more manageable. All right, let's get into it. He talks pretty fast and lets his stuff play fast, so I'm guessing it's just going to be a long one for me, and I already have a 4-minute intro. Sorry, not sorry. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Let's see if I agree with Fastidious' points, and let's see if this really is as exciting as that thumbnail and title makes it sound. I'm guessing so.
Getting 2 entirely new, fresh pieces of content. We're getting Gear Dungeon 3, and we're getting a full expansion of Void Rift. We're getting hero buffs and rework to like 6 or 7 different heroes, most of which are ones who really needed it, and some of them are huge. This Lady Mina buff is so needed. It's so good. The Gone buff, amazing. Such good stuff in here. And we're getting 3 unbelievably good exclusive artifacts that are going to elevate all 3 of those heroes. We're getting improved Abyss 1 rewards. We're getting slightly improved Arena rewards, and so much more. I cannot wait. If you're hyped about this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You're going to see me as excited as I've been in a long time, because this is great stuff. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Fastidious.
All right, simply put, I think these are the greatest patch notes in Watcher of Realms history, at least recent history. This is kind of mind-blowing stuff. If every update looked like this, I would almost never complain. I'm sure I'd find something to complain about once in a while because you know how it is. But this is perfection. It's beautiful, and I'm so excited. Before we get way too ahead of ourselves,
like
let
I
me make
believe
it
him,
clear,
don't I?
these are the patch notes for the Forerunner server. This is the update the Forerunner server is about to get.
He really is excited.
Said, the past several updates on Forerunner over the past few months have then happened in the next global server update with almost no changes. Usually there's no changes at all, and there's actually just extra good stuff in the global version. So I think this is shockingly promising. The devs are listening, and I love it. And I want to break it down for you. I am going to go pretty fast because there's a ton of stuff here and because I'm going to do a much deeper breakdown once it's confirmed for global. But you guys have probably heard me say, I believe an update is going to be coming the week of the 20th. April 20th, April 21st, sometime around then, I think we're gonna get another update. I said it could just be a mini patch. Of course, that's still possible, but if they've already prepared this, and if it goes over well on Forerunner coming up on April 14th when this is launching, I think they could run it back a week later on April 21st on the global server. I am not overhyping this. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal update.
Not clickbait. Let's go.
So buckle up, Buttercup. Let's get into it. We're getting compensation, whatever. Arena. It's not what you think. This is probably the worst part of the update. It's not bad, but when you see there's an Arena update and you just heard me say how excited I am for this update, you probably are thinking, oh, they're going to finally fix Arena. They're not fixing Arena, but they are making the rewards a little bit better. So these are the rewards pre-adjustment. No, we're not getting more Apex coins. I'm sorry, guys, but we are getting more diamonds. So if we start at bronze 1 here, you can see it goes 50 diamonds, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 220, 270, 315, 360, 415, 480, 600, and then all the way up in Apex Overlord, 800. All of those totals are being
I just hit Platinum 3. I was proud of myself.
So if we look
it's
at the
hard.
New weekly settlement, it starts at 100 and it scales up, 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 up. So just using Overlord as an example, it was previously 600 a week. It's now 800, 200 more a week. It's pretty cool. In general, we are seeing increases as small as 50 diamonds. That's what you get in bronze 1, the lowest level. We even have some smaller ones. If you look at gold 1 here, it goes from 220 to 250. Nothing crazy, but at the higher levels, it's like 100 more, 150 more, 200 more. So I want to get that out of the way. That's like the least exciting part here. Heroes. So many heroes are getting a buff and a rework, and obviously I've not been able to test these yet because they're not live on Forerunner, nor are they live on the test server, but they all sound very promising. I'm going to do a huge video going over these hero buffs. I might do multiple videos, like Lady Mina probably deserves her own video. Her buff is amazing, and I want to give the devs a shout out. Before they announced it, they reached out to me, so I'm assuming they reached out to several content creators, and they were like, how does this buff look? And I was like, that looks really good, and they actually did a better version of that, or at least what's coming to Forerunner is a better version of that. But let's start with Gone. He's getting a pretty major rework.
I hit a button accidentally and popped up some other videos. What did I pop up? How did I do that? More videos. What are they trying to make me watch? Annihilus? Oh, I heard that game was terrible. And unplayable. I might try it anyway, because it sounds fun if it's... is it really that bad? And Slate is live. Hello, Slate. Or she was live. And I don't even know what else we're trying to... Okay. You know, YouTube. Not everything I'm subscribed for, obviously, likes to show up. Okay, so this is true. I did get a DM about the Lady Mina buff, and they asked me how it sounded, and it sounded solid, and I said, yeah, it sounds great, but I have to be honest, I haven't played her for real enough to have an honest opinion of what it would feel like as someone who is experienced with her. So I was honest, but it sounded good. So to know that they made what they told us even better, I think people will be pretty happy.
So his talent allows him to scale his defense up more and more when he takes damage, but there was like a duration on it. So it'd only be for 15 seconds. So these stacks would have to refresh and he couldn't get like the full 30% defense boost. Now, every 5 seconds or whenever he takes damage, he'll get a permanent defense boost of 2%. Defense is going to help with his tankiness, but most importantly, it's going to help with his damage. It's possible, I think it's quite possible after this update, Gone will be the first good defense-based DPS in the game. We have a couple, they all suck. Gone probably is the best one right now, but he might actually be good, not just good relative to other defense-based DPS after this update. So very quickly into the battle, especially if he's taking any damage, he will get a full 30% defense boost for the rest of the fight. He has very high base defense, it's gonna be really good. This is really cool. During his ultimate, when he ults, he gets all the old benefit, damage reductions, increased block, but now, if he takes fatal damage during his ult, he gets 5 seconds of unyielding, and this is not once per battle, it's once per ultimate. So it's on par with like Knight Arlott, but it's very strong. And this is going to take Gone to the next level. It's going to make him a lot better as a chaotic lord in Arena. It will make him a lot better for PvE progression. I think this could potentially make him at least viable for GVG defense. It could make him a lot more exciting. It might
He
make him
used to be
meta. We'll see.
viable for
You look at this one over
GVG
here, he just deals
defense
a lot more
back in the
AoE damage, or
day.
at least a lot more consistently. Big buff to
So
his
much
Awakening
has
3,
changed.
and then his
That's why I
Lord
don't
skill, which already is the
overly
best Chaotic
do
Lord
it.
skill. It's better than Valderon's. Valderon's is very selfish. This one's really good. Now it's going to scale always, so you can get a big boost to attack and defense on the whole way down to 30% HP or less. Right? So previously it kicked in at 30% HP or less, you'd get the nice little 20% increase to attack and defense. So now you're getting a little bit and it's like maxing out at 30% or less. And then once you dip under 25%, you get a bonus 5%. So now any chaotic units that are under 100% HP are getting some amount of attack and defense. And if they're under 25%
Okay.
HP, they're getting another 25% attack and 25% defense. Very cool.
Nice.
They also fixed some random issues. So now Count Dracula, this isn't exactly a buff. They're kind of just rephrasing how certain things work in this kit, but it's certainly not going to be a nerf. They're just kind of re-articulating the interaction between Soul Rot and Soul Siphon. It's much more of like a tooltip revision. I don't think I'm missing anything here. He's already broken. He's going to stay broken. They're not doing anything to make him worse, but it's not like he's going to get way better or something. He doesn't need to get way better. Now we've got Iax. He's getting a little buff. They're reworking several of his skills. You can see they've got the ultimate. They've got the Destructive Breath. They got the Thunder Strike, some Awakenings. They're going in on him. That's going to be a bigger video for sure, but he needed it. Hopefully it's great. Lady Mina, TLDR, she's now...
What did that say about... Okay, he doesn't actually read them all. I usually read everything. All right, I wanted to see the details of Ajax a little bit, Ajax IX a little bit better. So 20% up from 10% chance to inflict burning, and then they added each time the hero inflicts or refreshes burning increases the hero's damage by 5% for 5 seconds, up to an increase of 25%. And then Destructive Breath is just an increased damage for the AoE damage overall. Same thing otherwise. Thunder Strike. They changed it a bit. Basic attack and ultimate have a 15% chance to cast lightning up to 5 targets in range. So instead of only the basic attack, now also the ultimate. Awaken 1 has penetration increased by 30% instead of crit damage. And Awaken 3 has an increased trigger chance of Thunderstrike by 10% and inflicting slow. So, okay, and then he kind of glazed over Ymir, it looked like. It went straight to Count Dracula. Did he just forget Ymir because he was grouped in there? But Ymir's getting an adjustment as well. Yeah, he literally skipped Ymir. Not just Lady Mina, but Ymir as well. Okay. Winter's Bite optimization. So now it's going to be reduces movement speed by 25%, stacking up to 3 times. Takes effect only when stronger than the current slow effect on the same attribute. When reaching 3 stacks, inflicts freeze on the target for 2 seconds. With Boreal Winds, so this is where the Ymir skill comes in, any allied hero who inflicts Winter's Bite on a target with freeze will trigger Cold Wave, dealing magic damage 1 time equal to 100% of that allied hero's attack. Okay. And it looks like we have an awakening adjustment too. Let's see if I can... oh boy. Pause. Alright, Awaken 4 was an addition. It increases the range of Boreal Winds. Okay, I like that. Awaken 5 after casting the ultimate 2 times. Okay, it becomes permanently increases the ultimate range. Ooh, okay, so they're adding his physical range to this. Okay, now let's let him talk about Lady Mina.
But he needed it. Hopefully it's great. Lady Mina, TLDR, she's now drawing attack from 2 allies, which is crazy. The 2 allies on the field with the highest attack. Previously, like the bug that they nerfed, that they fixed, whatever, she would draw from the single ally with the highest attack, and then she'd keep that, and then when she ulted and she went to draw attack again, if there was another ally who had the highest attack, maybe Neja was ulting at that point, so he got an attack boost, she'd take even more, so she could take from many sources. They got rid of that, but now they've guaranteed she's always getting from 2 sources. They kind of added it back in. She's taking 50% at max skill ups, 50% of the current attack from the 2 allied heroes. Here you can see it. The 2 allied heroes, the highest attack anywhere on the field. And now 2 allies, those 2 allies will deal increased damage to any enemies under Blood Sigil, which is her signature mark. Also, her passive, when she gets the crit damage boost, she's now getting that 20% crit damage boost from those 2 allies with the highest attack. So you really don't need to build her with much DPS now. You can just go all in on the crit damage, get her really fast, get her ult cycling. They took it one step further still because her artifact is better now too. Remember, Mina has very low base attack. She doesn't need attack. You're not going to build attack on her because she draws attack from previously 1 ally, now 2 allies. So she gets tons and tons of attack. Imagine you had an Ardia and a Guan Yu out there. you know, with huge amounts of attack in a Matrix battle, she's taking 50% of both of their attack. So she's kind of getting all that attack. So you can just ignore it. It was annoying before because her exclusive artifact gave her an attack boost, which doesn't really matter because her attack is so low. Now it's giving a big AoE damage boost. She does all AoE damage during her ultimate. I think Mina's going to be at the next level now. If we go to Pierre here, this is a lot better than it sounds. It's only one line of text, but it's really good. Previously, the Prismark could get kind of clunky, especially in like arena battles, any wave-based content where it didn't have anything to hit, because the Prismark, as part of Pierre's kit, that's like the big summon monster he creates, it is renewing and refreshing its duration and its ability to survive and not go poof by putting out hits. But if there were these waves and there were these periods of inactivity where it didn't have anything to hit, it wouldn't be able to increase that duration, and eventually it would tick away and it would poof. Now, it cannot have its duration decreased if there are no enemies in its attack range. So if it has nothing to hit, it's going to stay at its current duration, and then it will only start ticking down once there is something to hit. But if there is something to hit, it can keep it cycling and keep it back up. I hope that makes sense. Very good. Little optimization with the Focus Fire skill on Violetta Vane. So Focus Fire is like the signature effect of Pyros and Twin Fiend. Gretchen, sometimes she was having this failure in her attacks from her talent. They fixed that. And then finally with Kagiri, they fixed an issue where certain placement positions apparently were resulting in Sweeping Strike and Ember Strike, his two signature things. It would result in them failing to attack and actually block the enemy. Okay, I know I went pretty fast through that. We'll talk a lot more about the big ones, about Gon, about Ajax, about Mina, a lot of good stuff in there. These new artifacts are wacky. All three of these heroes that are getting new exclusive artifacts are getting new best-in-slot artifacts for them.
I guess I am glad that I saved my fancy artifact material, the exclusive one only with the high rates. So I did go through and pull a lot, as I showed in my other video, from the boosted rates. I did decide to get Talon's artifact because I never had it, so I took the chance to get it. But I'm kind of sad to see Beatrix's there when I used all of mine, so now I'm going to farm a lot more Mystery of Artifacts, expecting this to come soon. And I will be very excited to use it when she comes, or this comes.
That might not sound like much because, of course, an exclusive should be the best in slot, but it's not always like the definitive best in slot. These are. Rivenhald's is crazy. He can now get an increase in attack of 13% if you max this thing out. That's how it scales with promotions. Even at promo 0, though, he gets this secondary effect where he's doing a big burst of AoE Dispel, AoE Cleanse, whenever he ults. And then after he ults, he immediately restores 3/10 of his Rage Bar. So he's only 70% of the way to go to his next ult, to his next big inspiration moment, to his next big cleanse now, obviously his big shields. This artifact is going to take Rivenhald to an entirely new level. Just think of one use case. There's a million use cases. It's going to make him so much more relevant and so much more content. But just think of Matrix, right? Now you don't need a cleanser. Rivenhald is your shielder, your cleanser, your little supplemental healer, and your inspiration unit. So leave your Dasami at home. You got an extra spot now.
Wow.
That is huge. This is so big for Rivenhald. It's nuts. Vorn's is really good. He gets a big damage increase up to 35%, but most importantly, whenever he deals damage to a target with a shield, he's going to instantly restore 250 rage. It's very good. So he gets his ult up way faster. It's always ready for a shielded unit, basically. There is a 1-minute cooldown on this, but this is going to allow shield breaking to happen far more smoothly for a lot of accounts progressing through shield content. Abyss 1, Nightmare 4, things like that. Very good. Finally, if you were on the fence about Beatrix this weekend, this artifact is crazy good. First off, it does the basic thing we look for on a DPS mage. It boosts her attack, so she can increase it by 30% at max promotion. But most importantly, it extends the Dream Eater's life. So those are like her summons that she creates. So they last 3 seconds longer. That's more time for them to run around and wreak havoc and kill everything, which is kind of what they do already. And they now have increased movement speed. So they're going to run around and kill things faster still. This is nuts. This is really going to take Beatrix to the next level. If you watched my Should You Summon from was it 2 or 3 days ago, I said Beatrix is awesome. She's still like top tier for certain things, but we have so many good mages, she feels less special. This is making her super special again.
Okay.
Amazing artifact. Big stuff in Guild Wars like always, new season starting, new updates to maps. We've got the Gladiator's Gauntlet that's kicking off. The Tormented Banshee Demon Soldier is now in the pool that you can draw from when you pop a mystery demon chest. Cool enough. Major stuff. I haven't even reached the best stuff, by the way, guys. Also, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it so much. Also, if I seem a little strung out, it is because it is 1:19 a.m. But when I read this, I was so excited. I was like, I have to post about it. So it probably won't come out till tomorrow morning, but I wanted to film it because I'm busy tomorrow morning. So let's keep going. These Malrix changes and then these new stages, we're getting crazy new content. They are beyond exciting. So Malric, Molten Obsidian 3 and 4 are just stupid hard. They're making them a little easier. Great. Those are really hard to farm. If we look at the second one, that taunt effect that the Skeletal Giant Shielder puts out has now been removed. So that guy's going to be a lot easier to deal with. And then by a mile, point number 3 here, my favorite, by a large margin, they are reducing the difficulty of auto fights in Malric. How are they doing that? Well, what's the number one thing that blows up your Malric auto fights and wastes your time and throws your runs off? It's the suicides. It's those exploding, pesky little enemies you have to deal with because they're coming from all different places. Now they will always spawn at position 4, so you can plan accordingly. We will be able to set up so much more consistent one-size-fits-all attacks or save states, whatever, auto fights so that we can actually
We need
farm
to make
some
better
of the
auto
hardest
fights.
Malrix trials, if our accounts are good enough, without issue, right? We're not gonna have to deal with that crazy RNG that is so frustrating. That is so
Cool.
major, it is crazy. They also added a little confirmation prompt. If you're gonna end a background fight early, just so you know you're gonna waste an energy, you get it. Okay, here we go. The thing I'm most excited for by a mile. 2 huge new pieces of content. At long last, we are getting Gear Dungeon 3. That is so nice. We're gonna get so many more dungeon crystals. We should get more unidentified gear. We should get more forge mats. It should
I
just
have
be
a ton of
game-changing.
keys.
But it's just really new content. It's an entirely new Gear Dungeon. We are getting stages 1 through 13. They're building up an entire Gear Dungeon in full. I've never had more fun in Watcher of Realms than in spring 2024 when Gear Dungeon 1 and 2 came out. Go back and watch those streams. Yes, sometimes I'm like cursing and screaming because it was frustrating figuring it out, but it was so fun. And now we're finally getting Gear Dungeon 3. I'm extremely, extremely excited. I really am. Maybe we'll get some new gear, I don't know. But the fact that we're just getting it and we're getting a brand new challenge to tackle is fantastic, all right? So this is kicking off already on May 1st for them. So I'm hoping for us it's gonna be June 1st. That would
Okay.
be awesome. I'm gonna set some time aside in June
Right,
now.
that's
We're
from
getting
May
Gear Dungeon 3
1st for
stages 1 through 13.
Forerunner.
They're opening up the entire thing. The only thing you have to do to unlock the entrance to Gear Dungeon 3, it's the same as Gear Dungeon 1 and 2. Clear stage 18 of Gear Raid 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna get on the 1st of every month 100 keys just for Gear Dungeon 3. So now, if you do not count your master keys, which you can
wow.
stockpile, every month currently we're getting 200 keys, right? 100 for Gear Dungeon 1 and 100 for Gear Dungeon 2. Now we're getting
Yeah.
50% more, right? We're getting an extra 100 for Gear Dungeon 3, so we're getting 300 total. That is a lot
Well,
more
yeah,
materials
that's
to help us progress our accounts.
that's
They're also adding Gear Dungeon 3 to our progress stuff and
what
best
we would
records and
expect, I
achievements. They're adding a
guess.
rating display, of course they are. Now this is very exciting. They've added advanced gear recasting hammers. Those are the recasting hammers you can use on ancient and variant gear. And they've added advanced gear recasting hammer
Ooh.
shards to the dungeon shop. We should have a lot more dungeon
Yeah.
crystals now because we're getting an entirely new gear dungeon to farm every month with 100 keys. So hopefully they put out a decent amount of it and we can scoop it all up every month. My #1 auto buy right now in the dungeon shop, that's going to be the gear recasting hammer and I guess also the gear recasting hammer shards. So if they're doing the advanced version of those, the ancient ones, that is awesome. Now, Void Rift, we're finally getting new Void Rift, and it is an endless battle mode. So you can see they've reduced the difficulty of challenges in the epilogue. We're getting 2 new bosses after the current 6 stages of the epilogue. So the epilogue is getting expanded, and once you clear the current 6 stages and the 2 new bosses, you are going to unlock endless challenge mode. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm so excited. You can freely choose tags to select the difficulty that suits the experience you want to participate in, the challenge you want to take on. I'm assuming the more tags that kind of
Raise your
restrict what
hand
you're
if-
able to do, the more points.
Raise your hand if you did not finish epilogue for Void Rift. Oh yeah, that's a thing. Okay, my list of things I really need to do sooner rather than later, but I'll probably forget to do sooner rather than later, is growing. If I have a chance to push my epilogue, I will try to record it if I can do so. The problem is, oh hey, this is good. Then I'll get my 70,000 at least. Okay, this is my lazy, don't mind my bad key that I've never adjusted here. Okay. Let me I mean, but I have to do the second key still. So, what was I talking about? Oh my god, my brain just froze. Void Rift epilogue. Yeah. So, I only did like 1 battle, I think, right? I did 1 battle. And then I didn't continue because I was like, oh, I should record these. And then I forgot about it and then never recorded and never continued. But, hey, why can I auto fight it? So that means I must have done this one. Okay, this is the one I've done. Got it. So that's the one I've done, and this is what I need to do next. Is that it? I'm assuming. And I gathered a couple chests because there's a check mark. As if I could do the fight again. Correct me if I'm wrong if there's another battle that's just not showing. But yeah, I will try to record my stuff, I guess. Why not?
Points you can earn,
Right.
similar to like the
Almost
event
done.
boss we just had, I'm assuming, but hopefully a lot deeper and more interesting, and there's gonna be a big leaderboard. So I'm thinking probably every week we're gonna have a settlement on that leaderboard and we're gonna get more rewards. Very fun. There's
Cool,
probably
I
tiers
love the
within that. It's
endless
not like you have to be
mode
top
idea.
100. I can't imagine. Very good stuff. Finally, they
Yeah.
always throw some cheeky stuff in the others section at the end. We are going to get better
Always.
rewards now from Abyss 1. So currently we can get spirits. Those are the things we can use to enhance our gear, our tier 1 gear into tier 2 gear. Those spirits become useless eventually. Like on my account, for example, I think I have several thousand of each. Yes, at some point you need them, but when you get deeper into the game, you do not. If you're farming Abyss 1, you very likely do not. So they're now removing them. And they're not replacing them with anything, which is good, because the pool of potential rewards you get from an Abyss 1 chest is now
It's better.
smaller, so the likelihood of getting the really good stuff, the Ancient Summoning Crystal, the Divine Summoning Crystal, the Legendary Skill Crystal for some of you, Gear Recasting Hammers, and obviously Soul Stones, the likelihood of getting all of that goes up because they took out a bad reward. They didn't replace it with a bad reward. They just took it out of the pool. That is great. Next up, they've adjusted the difficulty of some of the Odyssey quests. Pretty cool. They fixed an issue where after changing a hero's
So that was funny in the last video, guys. The Dev Insights, they said they already adjusted the quest for bullions in Odyssey. No, they didn't. I still got to get 5 out of 5, which is so funny. I just can't seem to ever get it. It hates me. It really hates me. Yeah. Anyway, that was a lie. They did not change it, but maybe this actually changes it. And maybe this is why they said, we've already done that. It's like, no, you've planned to do it on the Forerunner server. It hasn't happened yet, though.
skin. Their summons would sometimes fail to be summoned during an auto fight, whatever. And they have done something pretty cool here. They've optimized the quick cast function for hero skills. This is where you have the quick cast down here on the bottom left. It would be like the circles under me. Currently, if you're trying to move a tactician, you have to click them on the map and then click the spot. Now you can click the quick cast and then click the spot. So for people on mobile, I know people have complained about that. They're fixing it. But let's just recap. Let's recap all the crazy good stuff. Huge hero buffs, wildly strong exclusive artifacts. We're getting better rewards from Abyss 1. And most importantly, we're getting 2 entirely fresh and novel pieces of content. We're getting Gear Dungeon 3 with 13 stages. And we're getting an endless challenge mode plus 2 bosses on our way there in the Void Rift epilogue. I'm so excited. This is as positive as I felt about the game in a long time. I hope this comes to global very soon. Good job, devs. Make sure it's even better when it comes.
Okay, so yes, again, yeah, this sounds like a great update. Now, is it the best ever? Okay, this is the analysis. Was it really clickbait? Is this really the best ever update? I don't know. I feel like there's been some even bigger hype moments. Now, it's cool to add another one piece of content and expand 2 areas of content to have new modes. But I feel like there's been much more dramatic updates than this. We've had the addition of Matrix, the addition of Titanic Ruins for the first time ever. I feel like both of those patches were way crazier. Because you know, every time they have those patches with these big content drops, there's always a lot going on as well. But this is an incredible update for sure. As you said, like some solid hero buffs, really good exclusive artifacts, awesome new content, adjustments to rewards. It's really solid overall. The best ever might be a stretch. I'm sure I could find a better one, but hey, fair enough. And I clicked and I watched, and you guys should too. Again, go hit the video link in the description or the pinned comment to give this video a view if you watched mine instead, to support the original poster, support your content creators. We all work hard, especially those of us that are full-time content creators and trying to get it all in there. So appreciate his hustle. I don't know how he does it. He covers so many games and so many channels now. So props to him for functioning and still doing the Pokemon thing now too. Oh my god. Anyway, hopefully you'll see Fastidious soon on my channel as well. But I will see you guys in the next video.